everybody, Esther here, CEO and founder of Virtual Assistant Internship and the 90-day VA program, and that is how I have helped over 1,500 women and some dudes work online around the world. I've been working from home and homeschooling my kiddo and traveling, go big or go home, what I always say, for the last 3 years, but I've been working from home and online for the last 7 years. So I'm like old school over here, it feels like. And I've been putting together this little video series. Hopefully you watched the last two. If you didn't, go and watch those. I talk about setting up your routine and your boundaries, getting yourself ready for this kind of lifestyle. And then I also gave a whole bunch of homeschool resources. Most of them were free or very low cost to help you get started. If you're just wanting to do this for a few weeks, maybe you're dealing with the virus stuff right now and you need to be home and you're like, what do I do? That is a great place to start. Today I'm going to be talking about, not today because I record all these in one day, but like right now, right now in this video, I'm going to be talking about other stuff you can do from home, literally from home. You don't have to go anywhere, from home, to keep your kids busy and entertained that aren't particularly homeschooling stuff, but they're still, not video games and watching TV. So there's still really good stuff to be doing from home that'll help keep kids of all ages busy, and it's really positive stuff. Before I do that, if you have any interest in working from home or working online, if this is like sparking something in you, you're thinking, I want to do this, but I have no idea where to start or what even stuff is I could do, go grab a ticket to my free virtual summit. It's called the Work From Anywhere Virtual Summit. 13 different online jobs are featured, how to get started in them. They help give you the next steps and freebies to help you get going. And then also 10 classes on the other aspects of working from home, like where to find the jobs, how to make a great remote resume, how to deal with the finances piece of it. All that stuff is in there too. I literally thought of every question you could possibly ever have and put it all into one summit. So go grab your free ticket. I will link it for you. Now let's go over, this is kind of my favorite part because this is the stuff that I get to add into my son's homeschool curriculum every week, that he's learning and growing so much from it, but it's like within his school curriculum because he's homeschooled, so I can do what I want. So this is the kind of stuff that I love, and it's just such an enhancement on what you would expect a current school to do. It's like stuff they're not really doing, but is so important and so valuable. For example, the first resource I want to tell you is called Big Life Journal. I don't know why it's called that because they have so many other things. It's not like just a journal, but I think that's the name of the company. I don't know. But they do mindset stuff for kids. And between you and I, my son's in the other room, my son really struggles with failure. He's like, this is too hard. And he just gives up and doesn't want to move ahead. And so that's the kind of stuff that they don't really help kids with in school. You know what I'm saying? And my kid's not sporty, so he's not going to go learn that from sports. So how do we teach children self-confidence, resiliency, goal setting, that failure doesn't mean failure? It just means you get back up and keep going, right? Like this stuff is so much more important than learning stupid crap you're never going to use again. And so I have really loved their curriculum. I'm embedding it into my homeschool curriculum for my son. And honestly, they have something for pretty much all ages. They have stuff appropriate for, I think it goes to like 2 to 9, and then it's like 10 and above or something like that. They have different sections you can check out on their website. We're doing the resilience packet. We're just starting that. And I also grabbed the famous failures where they read about different people who failed and what happened after they kept going. And so it's just helping kids to be thoughtful. And they have they give out freebies every Friday. We made like this box that he can like roll the dice before bed, and then we get to have a little conversation and talk about what we're thinking before bed. You know what I'm saying? Like cool stuff like that. That's very hands-on, very active, and gets deeper conversations going with you and your kids and helps them to work on more serious stuff. Another one is if you have any like inclinations of spirituality. So we love Jesus. I don't want to use the word Christian because a lot of people have bad connotations with that, but it's important to me that my son learns certain things about the Bible and about Jesus and has a relationship with God. And so I take curriculum from church and I they actually send it out of what the kids should do every day, which is great. So I don't have to do much. And I just embed that into his homeschool curriculum. And if you don't have that, then you can also actually find Christian or other, whatever your religion is. And you can find that on the Teachers Pay Teachers website will have that kind of stuff. I talked about that in the last video because they have all kinds of school stuff. But they have different kinds of religious stuff too. It could also just be that you want your kids to learn about world religions, like I did my son. That's one of the reasons we traveled the world. So what a great opportunity to grab some curriculum about world religions, and so your kids can start to learn about different cultures. Super amazing thing they can do. How about having your kid learn a second language? Because you know they don't start that until like middle school. And kids who are little are at the best age to learn it, and then they'll have the brain pathways ready to go for when they get into middle school and high school. Learning a language is going to be so easy for them. My son is learning Indonesian, and you're like, well, you don't live in Indonesia anymore, so why are you doing that? Because I know how valuable it is to have those brain pathways. And so he meets with a virtual teacher twice a week. He does homework on the opposite days, and he uses the Duolingo app. It makes learning a language really fun for kids. You can pick whatever language they have as options. And OutSchool is another resource that offers like a 6-week virtual class for kids to learn a certain language. So you can sign up your kids for a class like that, and maybe once or twice a week they meet online with the teacher. It's probably going to be a small group, and they do the language class with them. So great time to have your kids learn Spanish, Indonesian in my case, German, Chinese, whatever you want them to learn. If you want your kiddo to learn English, there's lots of websites where they can learn English. And because I know I have people who watch this from around the world, I found that the Cambly website is really great. They have online English classes that your kids can take that are super, just like, it's through an app. It's fun and easy for them to do. Another thing that we haven't thought about is typing. Why can't your kids do some typing activities from home? To me, that is such an important skill to learn, and learning how to use the computer. And so there is a whole bunch of typing games that your kids can play. I will link it for you, and they can just go on there and do some typing lessons and start to build up their skills on the computer. See what I'm saying? Like, this stuff is really important. Another favorite resource that I have is Audible. I am obsessed with Audible. My son gets car sick and we travel all the time. And so he uses Audible and he will download books from there and listen to them. And I get car sick too, so I use it all the time too. And the ones that we really like, I'll give you a hint, is we use the Disney anthologies. So they'll have like 365 bedtime stories, or they'll have Pixar stories, and they'll have them all in one book. And so you're getting a whole bunch of stories in one, but they're short, and so your kids can actually follow along and they're not too long. We really love those. I'll link that for you. Another great one for audio is podcasts. Did you know they have tons of kids podcasts, and they're all free and really awesome? Some of our favorites are Loud House. My son loves that one. It's his favorite one. We also like Brains On. It has science stuff. Mick Hunter Monster Hunter is a cute one. Highlights Magazine actually has one that they've put out. And Big Life. I told you about the Big Life Journal. Well, they have a mindset podcast, and on their site they sell a packet that's like a companion to the podcast. So you could have your kids listen to the podcast and do the activities that are associated with it. It's like $7 or something crazy cheap. So that sounds kind of cool, right? And then physical fitness. Your kids don't need to be going to the park if we are quarantined, and they can do physical fitness at home. So one of the ways my son can earn more screen time is by doing some kind of exercise video. 15 minutes is fine, and that's just one of the things he has to do though. So Amazon Prime, if you have an Amazon Prime thing, what do they call? Subscription. Oh, I told you guys, I told you in the last video. My English is just going. Amazon Prime subscription. They have a bunch of free videos if you type in kids fitness or exercise for kids or children. They have yoga, they have fun, like for even little kids, they have songs with movements that go with them. And then they have like this one karate one my kid found. And also if your kids are older like mine is, he just went on YouTube and finds his own. And I'll link a couple of ones that we use. And then the last two are documentaries. So there's so many documentaries on Netflix, and sometimes I will let that be a way that my son can earn more screen time that's not educational, is by watching documentaries. And between that and then also the iBooks app, your kids can download books and read on all different kinds of stuff. I have my son do book reports. And these aren't like your mama's book reports. These are book reports like making a podcast episode about the book, learning how to do audio editing, how to make the intro. He puts the whole episode together. Making a video talk show talking about the book. Making a comic strip talking about the book or about the documentary. So I will link to a great resource that listed all these really creative ways to do a book report and that make it a lot more fun. So every time your kid finishes a book, they can do one of these activities. Again, it could be a way that they earn more screen time. I made this cute little worksheet that's called Screen Time Keeper, and he gives the magic keys to unlock more screen time, but your kids have to do certain things to meet them. And I gave that as a freebie. I will link it below as well. You just have to click File Copy, and then you'll get your own version that you can edit and tweak and use. And with that, I hope that this has been so helpful for you, this little mini video series I did of helping you guys transition into a work from home and homeschooling lifestyle. I know that it's not easy for everybody. Ooh, I have a package coming. I gotta go. Before I go grab my package, be sure to go grab your free ticket to the Work From Anywhere Virtual Summit so that you can launch your online career. Now is the time. Everybody's going remote. Why not you? See you there.